right. So now let's talk about this angle bisector theorem, and we already discussed it right up here, that if a point is on an angle bisector, then it forms two congruent segments right here also. So it forms two congruent angles right there, but then those segments that connect from a point on your angle bisector is also going to be congruent. So the information we have there on page 168, 188, sorry, 188 is what we're going to work on here. So on page 188, we have here that AY bisects RAD. So AY right here bisects RAD, which means these angles right here are congruent. And then there are these segments that form perpendiculars off of that angle bisector right there. If they form perpendiculars off of them, that means they are congruent. Okay, so what we've got here then, we need to be able to find the value of x. So ry is x squared plus 3x. yd right here is 5x plus 15. AD is x plus 1. And now we're trying to find the value of x. So here we go. We know that this is congruent to this right here because of this angle bisector theorem of above. If a point is on the angle bisector, then it is the, let's say, same measure to the sides of the angle over there. So same measure to the sides of the angle. So we've got here x squared plus 3x equals 5x plus 15. And then in order to solve for this, I would subtract 5x. So I have x squared minus 5x plus 3x minus 15 equals 0. This gives me x squared minus 2x minus 15 equals 0. So then you have to think back to your Algebra 1 skills of factoring. And we have an x value and an x value here, two numbers that multiply together to be negative 15 or negative 5 and positive 3, which gives me x equals the value of 5 and x equals the value of negative 3. So if I were to plug this back in, I would have 5 plus 1 is 6, is this length right here. Or I would plug in negative 3. Negative 3 plus 1 gives me negative 2. Can you ever have a negative length of a side? No, 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 no. So that means this x value is invalid. It does not work for us. Okay, but our x value of 5 does. So it's asking us find the value of x. So we found the 1 value of x. Even though x was 5 and negative 3, you cannot have a negative value, so it is simply 5. So now you need to find the length of RA. RA right here is going to be congruent to AD right here. So RA has a length of 6. Okay, let's see. Let's do another couple problems of practice here. So the next page allows us on page 189 to practice up at the top. So given this diagram is as marked, we know that this is an angle bisector right here because it forms perpendiculars and those are congruent right there, which means we know this angle right here, RAY, is congruent to YAD. And that means we can say that 2x minus 10 equals x plus 20. If I add 10 to this side and subtract an x, I get x equals 30. So if 30 is my value, 30 plus 20 is 50, which means this angle in here is 50 degrees. This angle in here is 50 degrees. If x is 30, 30 minus 20 means this length right here is 10. This length right here is 10 minus 25. Oh, sorry, it's 30 minus 25. I would say that doesn't sound right. So YD is the length of 5. We know that both of those are congruent, so that is also 5. We know that AR and AD are congruent, so that is also 10. Okay. And let's take a look at this one right here on the bottom. Given that PL bisects EPA, we have them marked congruent. And then we have these lines that are or segments that are perpendicular to the angle rays. We know that EL is 6y minus 10. We know that LA is 2y plus 10. We know that PA is 8y plus 8. And we're asking you to find the value of y, find the value of PL and PE. All right, this is an ed puzzle. Please finish up. Find your value of y, PL, and PE. Okay, thank you. Here we go. We've got 6y minus 10 equals 2y plus 10. And then once we set them equal, we can subtract 2y, which gives us 4y equals, add 10 over there, equals 20. So y equals 5. 8 times 5 plus 8 gives me 48. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 10 gives me 20. So both of those are 20. Both of these are 48. So y is 5. PL. PL is the length we are looking for. I like it. We need to work on that still. And PE has the length of 48. Okay, so let's talk about PL's length right here. PL's length, well, we have a right triangle. When you have a right triangle, you can always determine, and you have two sides, you can always determine the third side. So if one of our sides, our legs, is 20 and the other leg is 48, we can say 20 squared plus 48 squared equals c squared. And you end up taking the square root of 20 squared plus 48 squared. And that ends up equal, because you take a square root of both sides in order to solve for that variable right there. And you end up with 52. So this actually has the length of 52. Okay, you do have some homework tonight, and I will check in with you next time I see you. Feel free to jump on our office hours, though. I will be there on our Zoom meeting. Have a great day. Bye-bye.